I'm Karen Atkinson, and I'm often asked the question, what's the difference between mindfulness and meditation? And so I felt that it might be really helpful to do this short segment, this short video, to explore where there are similarities between mindfulness and meditation and where the differences are. And so that's what we're going to do. So when we're doing our mindfulness meditation, we're sitting, standing, walking, lying, whatever it is, resting our attention on an object. So that object may well be the body or the breath or our senses. And we're inviting ourselves to really pay attention to whatever it is, bringing our wandering mind back time and time again to that place of attention on the object. So that is a meditation practice. But whilst we're doing that, we're also really aware of all that's going on around us. So we're not excluding external stimuli. We're not trying to do a single pointed focus, concentrative kind of a practice. We're just resting our attention on the object, but having an awareness of that going on around us. And then with mindfulness, we're changing the brain through doing a minimum of, say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes practice most days. We're changing the brain to enable us to be able to rest our attention more readily on the things that we're doing in our everyday life, so that we're taking a meditative approach out into our daily life, so that we become aware, perhaps when we're walking to the office or we're having our lunch and we can mindfully eat our lunch, or when we're having to really concentrate, pay attention to our work, say writing a report or sending an email or whatever. And so that meditative approach is developed through the mindfulness meditation practice that we then take out into our everyday life. Other meditation practices elicit all sorts of different responses, and often we're trying to make a change, so that we're trying to think more positively or develop changed breathing patterns through things such as yogic pranayama practice. We may be reciting or saying mantras to ourselves and all sorts of differences, which are absolutely valid, really powerful, and have a very, very positive effect on our health and our well-being. But that's not necessarily a mindfulness practice, because we're trying to change things. We can then take those changes into our everyday life, of course, there's no question about that. But we're not necessarily bringing a mindful attention to the practice or how we go out and live our lives. So there are real distinct similarities and distinct differences. Mindfulness meditation is sitting for periods of time, making the changes of the brain simply by being aware and bringing a compassionate attitude, a non-judgmental attitude to that process. And that has a real knock-on effect into the way that we live our lives. But it's not a concentrative, excluding kind of a practice, which other meditation practices are. And that meditative approach in our daily life can really enhance, empower, and enrich our lives in such a nourishing way. So I do hope that that's helped to explore the differences and the similarities. And thank you for listening.